everybody. Let me have a look, see if I've everything set up correctly. If you're hearing a buzzing in the background, that's my AC, because it's warm in here. So, last time, I think the last thing we did was make the buttons so that we can move the selector down and up. And I think I made like a reset. Right? And one of the things that I think we should do first is create a button for the reset, so that I can always reset it easily, especially on the Meowbit itself, because, well, I can't reset it anymore. So it will keep the save data while I do sometimes want it to reset, which right now I can't. I can only do that by actually healing up and stuff like that, which isn't ideal for testing purposes. So let's put in the reset button. And I was thinking, how am I going to do that? I have a menu button that I can use, and the Meowbit has one too, but I prefer to have it on the Meowbit so I can like change settings, like sound and brightness. And I think if I use the menu button for reset, it's going to take away my ability to get into this menu, which is not something I want. So another option I could think of is that you would hold A and B together as a reset, but then I have a different problem. It's easy enough to do it like on the physical Meowbit, but it's not that easy to do it on the simulator, because yeah, but I do think it has hotkeys, so maybe I can use the hotkeys for that. Yeah, okay, so let's do it that way then. I want to add to the controller a button press. Or I could do if a button press is held down for a few seconds, maybe. Let's have a look at what our options are. Left, right, down, menu, any. I thought there was an A-B one. I thought there was an A-B one. Maybe they changed that? Should I go for menu? Oh well, let's go for menu then. If menu button is pressed, I'll reset. Basically that's all we have to do, I think. So let's change a few things. Get damage! Press menu! Nothing happens! Can't I? The menu button does nothing. But he's out of something because okay. The selector still works, it seems. Okay, that still works. But if I say damage, now it does work. Why did it? Maybe because I pressed B or something. Okay. But when I press menu, it doesn't do anything. Oh, it's good to know that spacebar and enter Z and X are A and B. But I have no menu button. Okay. Maybe it doesn't do it because the menu button on the Meowbit is hard-coded? Maybe? I don't know. Okay, but for this one, if A is held down, is pressed, and if, because I saw this one too, B is pressed as well, then call reset. What will you do now? So Z and X. Does the call reset just not work, maybe? But it's also grayed out. Maybe because we already have like this function and it needs to be in the same. Can't duplicate it. So it's not multi-threaded. Press down, press up, press right, press left. Where's A? There. Here. Oh, there it is. Okay. So let's add extra functionality with A. Or should I do it on B? No, let's first see if my idea works anyway. Yeah. Try it on B first, because B doesn't do anything unless we're in a menu. So right now it should be idle. Do I need to put in like an and if B is not pressed, maybe? To make it more, because this is gonna be terrible. Yeah, because else is going to go, A is going to keep going into this one, regardless if I'm holding B. So logic comparison and so it has to respond if menu is 0 and button B is not pressed. So basically it should not respond if I'm holding it. But let's first give me some, okay. Nope, it's okay. Let's just read. It always zooms in so far. Okay. No, so that doesn't work. And it's not really pressed if it's held. What am I doing wrong? It's only registering it as pressed, not as held. Maybe? But I can only do like press here and not held. Is my logic off? Do I need to work with booleans for this? As in, if B is held, then B is true? Seriously, would I have to do that? I can. Yeah, sure. Why not? If B is released. Do you have like booleans? No, I don't think you have booleans. But we don't have to like I have so many variables. B held hold hold B. I used to have a convention for this, but it went out of the window eventually because okay, so if B is held, if B is pressed, set hold B to I can put it to true, right? I can just put that in there. Say it's a boolean that way. Let's look at this one. And if it's released, set to false. Okay, so the first thing it will do is make a hold. So then I can, does it like, is that enough? Do I have to make it like it's true if and is not true? Let's Let's just have a look. Okay, it did reset somewhat, but it also brought this up. Which is not what I'm looking for. And it seems to only do it on the second time I press A. Let's do another console log. And see what happens. Okay. B is false. It's still saying B is false. The menu is going on and off, which is fine, but curiouser and curiouser. And I thought this was going to be simple. So the yeah, that's better. Okay. I do see skipping by. So it is triggering. I see a true and false going off. Why can't it stay in the position that I put it in? Let's turn you off for now because I purely want. I'm holding B, but it already comes back as false, as if I have released it. What if I do it this way? Huh. Okay. So it's not my error in this, it's that the hotkeys don't register a release, it seems. So it's always going to like be true and then almost immediately be false. Which is going to make this interesting. But maybe I can cheat on it. In the sense that I just have to press them both at the same time. Or nearly the same time, and it would be enough. damage. Okay. Okay. B is true. I see. I press A with the keyboard. And nothing happens. Okay. So the Boolean is working. Just not in the simulation. Am I doing something here? If A is pressed, if menu is 0 and B is not true, am I doing it the wrong way around? Let's see. Work for me! Why does it work the second time though? Because he's going to fit in else? Do I need... yeah. I have to make a second if statement, don't I? Is that what this is going on? I think that is what's going on. Move this stuff down. No, that's the one I keep. And so the first if statement is where's my call reset, by the way? Am I doing something stupid? If I feel like I did hear something. Oh no. Is my... break my A button. No. No, I want damage. Okay. So that doesn't work yet. No, that's not working yet either. Oop. So if button B is held as well as A is pressed, then call the reset. I'm holding B. Is the A press not coming through? It is giving me feedback that it's coming through. It does register this A press. So he's registering the A and the B. But why is it not calling the reset? Is there something wrong with my reset? Okay, let's have another stab at this. Okay, and then A. Okay, so it is going through. So there might be something wrong with my call reset. Set current HP to max HP. Set temp HP to 0. Set current lock to max lock. Oh. Programming is so easy. Everyone can do it. The problem here is that I am calling the reset and I am resetting all the variables, but I'm not printing it to the screen. So I'm not seeing it until it gets an update, which it does on the second time I press A, because then I'm changing the HP, so then it resets. So in the reset, I also have to call the redraw of the screen. And then it should work. But then the question is, would my other thing have worked too without the boolean? It would save me some code. So let's try that first. Because I'm all for making things slimmer. Yeah, I can leave that empty. It doesn't hurt that much. Wait, let's go to console mode first. So B, A is pressed. Huh, interesting. So no, which I could understand, because this activates the moment I press B. So it should actually be in reverse. It should be over here. It should be over here. Which I don't like because A is filled to the brim. Yeah. Okay. Let's have a let it go. It's true. A is pressed. Reset. Yay! Okay, so I can take out that boolean. Which saves me a variable. But I've already made it, so it's not going to go anywhere. But I can get rid of this. I can get rid of this. Or this. This I can keep. And maybe move it down. That way it won't do anything else as long as I hold B. I am going to keep that console log though. It might be handy. Let's give it another go. Just to be sure. Read and press A. A. Did I break it? Or is it the console? Console is going too fast. Yeah, maybe I should put this somewhere else on screen refresh or something. B. A. Reset! Yay! What debugging can't do for you. So now I have to also... These are the 3 that I need. Because that's what I call on startup. And if I call them again... It should work. Though I do not need to set stats. Set stats had nothing to do with the screen. And that's where my naming convention screws me over. Yeah, I don't need that one. Right now I only need set screen. Can I make it set screen like a function that also, like a general call to refresh the screen maybe? Then I can move this down there. And then all I have to do is set screen. That would make life simple. Because I'm going to have to reset the screen more often. Reset. There you are, reset. Oh. Let's just try it again, just in case it's a jinx. And whoop. Yeah. Oh, that I like. Okay. And it only took us half an hour to figure that out. So let's take that off the list. If like is presented, select that up. Option 4. Resources, license, position selector. test with less spell slots. Yes. I'm gonna move that one down. It's not that important. I want to do the spell slots first. Because I was already making this one a function in which the spell slots were going to change. But then I'm getting to my other problem. Because right now I'm setting it up in such a way that you select the level of spell slots you want to use. But how am I going to indicate that you need to take one off or add one? I guess you can take one off simply by selecting A, because that's what we're doing right now. Every time you're on health or on temp, you select A and then you input what it is you want to happen to that number. But I don't think we should call on the number right now, because you usually only like take one off and hardly ever add one. Usually you only do that if you accidentally screw up. So let's see, the arrow keys are all taken. Because they select the piece of the screen that you're going to interact with. So we only have like A and B at that point left. So we could use the A as an taking one spell slot off, and the B as in adding one spell slot until you hit max. But it feels so unnatural to me to use B for it. B to add and A to take one off. I think we should do it that way now, and maybe when I play test it with friends, they can give me some feedback if this feels okay. So yeah, okay, so we kind of figured out what it is that we wanted to do. We want to select the level, use A to take one of the spell slots off and empty it out, and use B to undo it in case something went wrong. Then I have to think about how we're going to select it, because the thing is, you have like 10 degrees of spell slots. You have like 10 different rows in which the spell slots are. So you have to find a way to automatically make the code find out in which spell slot you're working at, which level spells you are going to change. And we can do that by changing, by looking up the position of the selector sprite, because that selector sprite that we have set up, we can ask what position it is and use that to basically determine where it is on the screen and where which level would be under there. But we have two problems that we still have to figure out. One of them is I have like the 10 slots, but it's not necessarily 10. If you have like a low level character, it can also be like up to level 5 instead of 9. And I'm still not confident of the position it's in is going to be like the eventual thing. So most likely it's gonna be a variable again. Oh dear. Oh well, we have a hold B that we can change into something else. And there was something else, but I can't remember what it was. So it can't be that important. Oh yeah. We could, that's one of the things that I put up in my to-do list, was use the spell slot spacings to position the selector. The spacing that we have between these orbs are not random. They're actually math. I didn't hard code their position in there. I simply told them space that much apart. And I can use that as a reference to figure out where my selector is going to be. One of the other things that I don't like is how the selector is looking right now. I don't like how it looks. Oh, that doesn't work yet. Interesting. So, should I go first with the selector, with the movement of the selector? Or should I... Selector would be easier, because then I can also do the test on what would happen if I have less slots, and then go into that other updating how the slots look like. Yeah, I could do that. So and I'm also thinking, that was one of my forward thinking, is that if I'm going to put in luck, which I eventually do want to do, I'm going to put it on the right side of the screen, with the idea that if you have your selector on the temp HP and you move it down, right now if we do that, it will immediately go to slot level 9, which is the most right spell slot. But the idea is then, if there is luck on the screen, that it should go to luck instead. That's why it's important for us to figure out how the selector is going to go through this. I think it should always still... And I think we also had set up already that if the sprite position is on the left side of the screen, it will automatically go to the HP, and if it's on the right side of the screen, it will automatically go to the temp HP. Did I do that? It's in menu 0. Yes, if the sprite selector is on line 1, so that's the HP line, and we press up, it should go in, yeah, it should change scale and go to the spell slots. And before it goes there, it checks if sprite let's zoom in a bit. if sprite X is on, oh, I hard coded it, is on 20, which is where it is when it's on HP, it should go to the first position of the line 2. So the first spell slot that we have. I shouldn't have hard coded it. That's gonna bite me later. The screen is 160 pixels wide, so half of it would be 80. So if I say that the screen, the position is less than 80, so on the left side of the screen, it should go down. So that still works. And if it's on the right side of the screen, it should go to, yes, okay. It doesn't look different, and it doesn't change the functionality, but the thing is, if I change like the position of the HP, say if I would make the HP bar a lot shorter, or simply move it more to the right, and also move the selector more to the right as a result, this wouldn't have worked anymore because the position wouldn't have been 20. But now if I change the selector a little bit more to the right or the left, because it might look better, then it will still function because I'm telling it, if it's on the left side of the screen, go down. And I did the same thing, yeah, if it's on the, if it with the spells, I already did that with the idea that I know you're going to go through them, and if you're here and you go press up, then it should jump back to the HP and not just jump to the temp HP or anything like that. So, thinking forward, that should be more of how I do things. But sometimes you're tired and you're not thinking straight. And then you do stupid things. Okay. So the up works down. Did I do the same on the down button though? Yes, I did. Oh boo. Yes, is less than or equal to. I should always use that instead. Just in case you might actually end up on precisely 80. It's always nice to just, yeah. That and 80 included. Okay. So the up-down should be fine now. It's the left and right that we need to worry about now. Block. And I think I'm gonna go into overtime, but that's not bad. I'm having fun. Okay. So the left and right doesn't have anything yet for being anywhere else besides layer 1. So right now I'm saying if select a sprite height is equal to line 1 plus 3, I should change that to, I should automate that to later. I'll put it on my list. the selector Y position. Offset. Okay, put that on my list of things to do. So what we want now is what it does if it's on layer no, I want this. If it's on layer 2. Right, that's where we're going. I'm already doing this because I know there's going to be a layer 3. So I might as well just already put that in. Okay, so now I'm stating that if the sprite, the selector sprite is on layer 2, there, so when it's on what's going to happen if right or left is pressed? Let's work from left to right now, because I read from left to right, so it might be easier that way. And okay, so we have to figure out how much the sprite has to jump. And where did I put that? Set spells. I put that here. Set spell screen. Because here I told it what the position is going to be in a for loop. Or in a repeat. It's called a repeat here, but it's a loop. And I already automated it, so if the max magic array doesn't have like a 9th number, it will just stop repeating itself sooner. So that should be good. And I set sprite spacing to 11 and spell level count to 0. Spell level count. I wish I could like put in a description of variables. I really need to do that. I still remember like a coding teacher that I had that used to like use 1-letter variables, and another teacher that I had that would write out entirely what the variable was. So the description was its name, which is logical, and but it's a disaster to look at. And the single letter variables, oh, they are horrible too. Because you can't, you look at the code later and go like, what is K? What is that? What does K do? Where is it? What is it for? So yeah, I've had like the both extremes, and both could work, I guess. But right now, okay, sprite spacing is 11. I could use that. I could simply use the variable 11, right? Of sprite spacing. Because do I add to it? Oh, the spell level count was to keep up which level spells it was putting down. Got it. Makes sense. one-time spell spacing. And Y is spell height, spell spacing. Okay, so I could use the spell spacing for it. Good! I actually made a variable that already does what I wanted to do. Yay for me! So I'm going to use spell spacing. Spell spacing. But it's a sprite, right? So I need to change the sprite position. Can I change the sprite position? Yes, I can. Because I don't want to set it, I need to change it. And it's going to be X. And I'm gonna change it by spell spacing. Is it gonna be that easy? I wonder. Going down. Going left. No. No, doesn't do anything. Mostly because I'm doing it on the wrong one. Oops. Am I doing a stupid again? I don't need to update this, do I? I don't need to update the screen when I'm changing the positions of a sprite. Because it doesn't need to be rebuilt. It's because I'm not telling it what to change. Oh god, I'm really getting tired. The selector sprite, please. Can I have the selector sprite? There we go. Okay. No. Okay. Change the selector sprite. X by. Okay. Set selector sprite position to. Well, that's set. Let's see what. Is it? Do I need to set it? Can't I just update value of property of an object? Or is it a scale thing? I know I screw that up a lot. But I think the spell sprite's spacing has already been called. It's already been set. And it doesn't change anywhere. But should I lift it up to like the set function? I also want to like pull this apart though, but right now I am going to put it somewhere else. I'm going to put it higher. Do you still work? Yes, it seems so. Okay. Why are you not moving? So if right is pressed and menu is 0, which is, it is, or at least supposed to be, and if the selector goes like, is the selector sprite on line 1? No. Else, is selector sprite on line 2? What it might be is that this is biting me, like I said, because it's too specific. Because what is the position? See, I changed it to 2 for line 2. So yeah, it is biting me. 2. There it goes. And the spacing is off, which I thought it would be. Okay, but that works. Can I? Not the square root. It's not the square root, but oh, that's interesting. I can't remember. Help. It wasn't the absolute. It wasn't the floor. It wasn't the round. It was. People are going to be screaming to me right now. How do I not know how to reverse a number? Yeah. Well, let's fix the spell spacing first. It seems 11 is not entirely the right number. So what happens? Okay, it's possession X. It's 10. Yeah. Y is not what we're having to look for because that's up and down. It's X that we're looking for, and it's 1 times spell spacing. It's either 1 plus spell spacing. So it's actually 12 then, isn't it? And we have to... Okay. So we know 10 plus spell count, level count, sorry, times 1 plus spacing. So when I look at it, so this is 11 because spacing is 12. This is a variable between 0 and 9. So let's say for level 2 would be 1. Let's get that 10 out of here. So it would still be 12 plus 10. Where does the 10 come from? Is that because of the width of the sprite? Or is it because that's where we start the position? No. Is it? As in 10 is like this thing. Not easy enough to figure out. Let's put it on 5 and see what happens. Yes, I was correct. Okay. So that 10 is nothing that we have to do with. So it's this 12. The spacing is actually 12. Why do I do 1 plus spacing? Why don't I just make the spacing 12? And then change some of the code. What happens if I do like this? This should work, right? Should be quite similar. Anybody see a difference? Yeah, it's closer together now. But I do want it further apart, so we're going to set the spacing to 12. I think I put it in there so I could play with it to get it to a point that I wanted it to be. Oh, the battery died. The battery on my Meowbit just died. Oops. Yeah. Okay. This is fine, but then at least I know it's the spacing I have to play with. Charge, my little one. So then, for left and right, the spacing should now work as intended. And it does. Oh yes. And now to wrap my head around how I get it to the negative. Oh, this is just sad that I don't know that. Is it like times -1? You could do it like -1, right? No, not logic. I was in the wrong one. I'll grab this one. Let me say -1. Shouldn't matter. Apparently it does. Okay. Yay! Okay, so if I go over the left side of the screen, it should go. See? Depending on where the selector is, when I go press it back up, it goes to the right one. Yay! Good thing we took out the hard code. Okay. So we have the left and right. Now we have to we're changing it hard and not keeping track of where it is, which is something we do have to do if it is smaller, because right now the problem that we have is that it will continue, and it will continue further still. So we have to keep track of where it is. And there's another if statement in there, in which we set the parameters to which the selector can move left or right. And if it has hit like the end, it should stop. But I'm also thinking about the lock on the right. We have to be able to select that too. But that's for later. Let's do this one first. See if I can do that within 15 minutes. Right? Yeah. So I can count on the level count, can't I? I have a level count, which is 0 to 9. But it gets its number. Level count set to 0. Length of array. I have to use the length of array. So it's going to be a variable dependent on the length of the array. Spacing those are the two things that I need to know, but also position. Selector X position is what I need to know as well. Okay, so those are three things that I'm going to need to figure out how far, if it can still move. And the spacing and the combined with the length of the array is the math that I need to do, because that is what I have to compare with the position of the selector. Okay. Still with me? Okay, dingus. So that's the two things that I need to compare. So I need to use the length of the array. No, that doesn't work either. Oh, I want to swear so bad. The length of array only tells me what the max is, where it can go. Well, we can use that though. If we're thinking about what the max. Yeah, okay. Duplicate. And we also have like the spacing, that's like the 10 spacing here. Ha! That should be a variable too, but I'm not going to do that right now. So it's going to be length of the array times spacing. And it should actually be also the plus 10 that we use as padding. Yep. And that's the thing we have to check against. So there's another if statement. Gonna drown in the if. Okay, so if sprite's position X, I think I can, yes, sprite position X. And I need logic because I'm comparing the sprite position. Let's not make the same mistake. If select the sprite position X is equal to more. Yeah, but then it's already moved. Let's just try this first. And it should be that. Okay, so if the selector's X position, so its left and right position, is less than the max of my spells levels that I have, it should still be able to move. If it's not, it can't move any further. Let's see. Okay. So it's still moving. Okay, it stops there. So it's moving too far. So I'm taking this out. Bye. And just putting this in. Because the length of the array as it is right now is 10. Correctly. And it's still going 1. Am I going to... Let's test something first. Oh, crap. If I take out the level 9 spells, it automatically takes it away. Does that still work? It still does 1. So maybe I just say length -1. Let's put that back. -1. Why? Oh, it is -1 length of the array, not -1 pixel. Duh. Okay. Okay. So now the selector should stop. Yes, it does. On the last one. And if I take the last 2 out, let's be drastic. Okay. Yes! It doesn't go any further. Yay! Let's put this back though. Yeah. Okay. So we got it moving to the right. Now we have to get it moving to the left. First. And then we block it, but to the left we have to stop it. It only should work if it's above 10. Because that was the buffer range we put in. Or the padding we actually put in on the left. So it should only work if the sprite is above that. Let's have a look, see. back. Will you stop? Yes, you stop. Yes! Okay. So for the next time, we need to... make it cycle through. Make a cycle through the spell slots. We tested this one, so we can take that out. But I had the selector Y offset on height that I want to do something with, and change padding into variable. English is not my first language, can you guess? Okay, so that's where we're gonna keep it today. I'm gonna put this on my Meowbit later when it's more charged. And we'll continue next time. But it's getting there. Hopefully you guys bear with me on this, and if you see errors or better solutions than I did, please tell me so I can apply them and test them out. Well, see you guys next time. Bye.